Imagine opening an old coffee tin, the kind that smells faintly of dust and stories, and discovering a single copper penny that could rewrite your financial future. Hold that thought, because today we are stepping into one of the most misunderstood, most hyped, and most exciting corners of American coin collecting. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the legends of million-dollar fortunes, and what these coins are actually commanding in today's market. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will know exactly what to look for, how to avoid costly mistakes, and how one tiny coin could change the course of your wealth journey. And yes, somewhere in America, someone is going to realize that the junk drawer penny was the most valuable thing in the house. Will that be you? Let's start with the dream, because that is why you are here. You want to turn forgotten coins into real money. Maybe you've seen headlines about pennies selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe you felt that spark of excitement. What if the key to a wealthier life is already in your possession? And then the fear creeps in. What if you had one, and you spent it on gum 20 years ago? Funny how a single cent can suddenly feel very expensive, right? The 1967 no-mint mark penny captures people's imagination for a reason. No tiny letter under the date, mysterious stories online, people whispering rare error, big money. At this point, you might be tempted to dump every coin jar onto the table. Not yet. First, a little clarity is going to save you time, protect your wallet, and maybe make you wealthier faster than guessing in the dark. Here comes our first cliffhanger. You've probably heard that some of these coins are worth millions of dollars, and others' current market value $200,000 or more. Is that hype? Is that real? Or is the truth somewhere in between, and much more powerful than you think? Let's step deeper, because the answer isn't simple, and that's exactly where opportunity lives. Here's the first authoritative truth. In 1967, the United States Mint removed mint marks from coins on purpose to discourage hoarding during a national coin shortage. So if you see no mint mark on a 1967 penny, that's normal. Don't panic. Don't celebrate wildly yet either. That lack of mint mark alone is not the golden ticket. But before you sigh in disappointment, pause, because this is where the story gets interesting. Even ordinary years can produce extraordinary coins when something unusual happens. Striking errors, double dies, off-center strikes, planchet issues, and ultra-high grades preserved in almost perfect condition can launch values into jaw-dropping territory. That's how you get dramatic auction headlines and six-figure sales. Not every coin will do that. Very, very few will. And that's exactly what makes those few life-changing. Let's reset your attention with a quick question. If you found a coin worth $200,000 today, would you tell anyone before you sold it? Or would you suddenly become the quietest person in the neighborhood? It's amazing how silence becomes a financial strategy. Back to the path. Some sellers chase myths and get burned. Others learn the rules of rarity, grading, and authentication and walk away with real checks. Which side do you want to be on? That fear you feel right now, the fear of missing out or getting scammed, is actually your greatest ally. It is your signal to slow down, verify, and move with intention. Let's smoothly transition to value. You will hear claims of pennies worth millions and current values at $200,000 or more. Extraordinary prices only come with extraordinary reasons. Extreme rarity, pristine uncirculated condition, dramatic minting errors, or high third-party grading. The real current market changes constantly, influenced by demand, metal prices, and collector trends. That means opportunity is alive right now, but so is risk. Your best move is simple but powerful. Verify everything. Professional grading services, reputable dealers, second opinions. A coin that is truly exceptional can change your life. A coin that is not can still be worth more than face value, just not fantasy money. Both outcomes are wins when you know what you're doing. Here's your next cliffhanger. In a moment, I am going to walk you through what to actually do if you think you have a valuable 1967 penny, including the biggest mistake that causes people to lose tens of thousands of dollars without even realizing it. If you are serious about selling old and rare pennies to upgrade your lifestyle, this part is not optional. Imagine this. You've identified a promising coin. Your heart is racing. Your hands are shaking just a little. Excitement mixed with fear is the exact emotional cocktail that shows you're on the edge of transformation. Now what? First, resist the urge to clean the coin. Never polish. Never scrub. That shiny new look destroys value faster than fire. Collectors love originality, even with age. Let that coin wear its story proudly. Second, look for signs of rarity. Sharp details, unusual doubling in the date or lettering, off-center strikes, unusually thick or thin planchets. Even the smallest oddity could be the difference between pocket change and down payment money. Third, document. Good photos, natural light, both sides. Treat it the way you'd treat a luxury watch you just discovered in a drawer. Let's add a touch of humor to reset your focus. Yes, you are officially the person who takes dramatic pictures of pennies now. Welcome to the club. It's more lucrative than it sounds. Now we turn urgency into action. The market moves. Interest rises and falls. Coins don't just sit in vaults. They move through auctions, private sales, and estates. If you're sitting on something special, waiting forever can cost you. The fear of moving too fast is real, but the danger of never moving at all is bigger. Wealth favors those who take informed action. And here is that promised warning. The biggest mistake sellers make is trusting the first offer that sounds amazing. If someone rushes you, if it feels secretive, if the price jumps around wildly, step back. Slow is smooth, and smooth is profitable. Seek multiple opinions. Use recognized grading services. Let professionals fight over your coin if it's truly exceptional. Your job is to be patient, not passive. Now let's connect everything we've built together. You began this video curious. You felt excitement at the idea that a small copper coin could change your life. You confronted the fear that value can be confusing, and you learned the reality. No mint mark alone does not equal riches, but rare variations and high grades absolutely can mean serious money in the right hands. You learned the process. You learned the pitfalls. And most importantly, you learned that wealth from old coins doesn't come from luck alone. It comes from knowledge, intention, and bold but intelligent action. So here is your closing moment. Somewhere, sitting in a jar, a desk drawer, or an old box from a relative, is a coin that will pay for someone's debt freedom, business startup, or dream home. The question isn't whether those coins exist. They do. The question is whether the person who finds one will recognize it. Will that person be you? Or will you let it slip away unnoticed, back into circulation, buying a coffee that could have been your turning point? Your next step is simple. Look, learn, verify, take action. The path to a wealthier lifestyle isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's copper-colored, slightly worn, and stamped with a date that suddenly matters more than you ever imagined. And if you're feeling that pull right now, that mix of urgency and possibility, that's not an accident. That is your signal. The story of your financial future might be starting with a penny. Don't wait to read the ending. Imagine opening an old coffee can of coins and realizing one tiny copper penny could rewrite your retirement, erase your debt, or fund the lifestyle you've dreamed about. Now here's the twist. The coin in question isn't gold. It isn't silver. It's a common-looking 1976 no-mint mark penny people overlook every single day. And yes, some examples have shocked the market. But there is also a darker side: myths, misinformation, and costly mistakes. Stay with me to the very end, because what separates a penny worth 1 cent from one worth life-changing money often comes down to one detail most people miss. Miss it, and you could literally throw away a fortune. Let's start with the story. Picture a man in his late 50s cleaning out his parents' attic. There are boxes, photos, and an old jar packed with pennies. He almost donates it. Almost. At the last second, he hesitates. Why? A voice in his head whispers, "What if?" He dumps the coins onto the table. They spill out like rust-colored marbles. One coin catches his eye. A 1976 penny. No mint mark. It looks ordinary, maybe even dull. Certainly not powerful. But what he didn't know yet was that pennies like these have been tied to jaw-dropping auction results when they show the right combination of condition, rarity, and error. Here's where excitement meets fear. Because the truth is simple. Some people discover value too late. They spend the coin. They cash them in by the roll. Or they sell to the wrong buyer for pennies on the dollar. I don't want that to be you. And yes, we'll talk about the huge numbers you've heard floating around, but we're also going to separate hype from reality so you can move with confidence instead of confusion. Wealth likes clarity, not chaos. Quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever thought, it's just a penny? What could it possibly do? Well, ask anyone who threw away Bitcoin in 2011. Tiny things become enormous when the world finally pays attention. Besides, when was the last time 1 cent made your heart race? Now, before we go deeper, there's something we must clear up. You may have heard the term 1976 wheat penny. Here is the authoritative truth. Wheat pennies were minted from 1909 through 1958. By 1976, the reverse design had already changed to the Lincoln Memorial. So when people talk about a 1976 wheat penny, they are usually repeating a myth or confusing coin types. But that doesn't mean 1976 pennies can't be valuable. It means their value comes from something else entirely. And this is where Act 2 begins. Let's talk about the real drivers of value. 3 pillars determine whether your 1976 no-mint mark penny is ordinary, worth hundreds, or worth far more. Condition, error, and demand. Miss any of the 3 and the price collapses. Combine them and you have lightning in a bottle. First, condition. The market doesn't reward average. That's true in life and it's true in numismatics. A coin in perfect mint state condition, untouched, blazing red, with full luster, certified by a reputable grading service, stands in an entirely different league than a pocket-worn penny. Tiny scratches can mean thousands lost. If you're wondering whether to clean your coin, the answer is no. Cleaning kills value. Think of wrinkles on a wise face. They tell a story. Removing them removes authenticity. Second, errors. This is where excitement skyrockets. Double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, transitional metal compositions. Dramatic minting mistakes are what turn common coins into headline makers. Not all 1976 no-mint mark pennies are rare, but certain error examples have commanded extraordinary money when combined with incredible condition. That is where you hear attention-grabbing figures, stories of 6-figure sales, and collectors battling at auction. Now, here's the cliffhanger. Many people think every 1976 no-mint mark penny is instantly worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. That belief is powerful and dangerously expensive. Why? Because scammers exploit it. They sell million-dollar penny lists. They hype ordinary coins. They prey on fear of missing out. So let's pause and ask a humorous but serious question. If every 1976 penny were worth $1 million, why are people still working 9 to 5 and not emptying piggy banks on Wall Street? Here's the authoritative truth. No-mint mark in 1976 simply means made in Philadelphia. That alone does not create rarity. The extraordinary values come from a combination of extreme condition and genuinely rare errors verified by professional grading services. And while you may hear specific claims like, current market value is $976,000, real market value always depends on authentic grading, auction results, timing, and buyer demand. Some coins do reach spectacular price levels, but millions are never guaranteed. Your power lies in knowledge, not hype. Let's build urgency. There is a window of opportunity in every market. Coins get spent, damaged, mishandled, cleaned, or lost. The population of high-grade survivors shrinks, not grows. Every day someone unknowingly spends one. Every day someone tosses one into a Coinstar machine. You don't want to be the one telling the story that begins with, "I used to have one of those," transitioning now from danger to possibility. You might be sitting on something remarkable: the attic jar, the inherited collection, the forgotten safe, or the coffee can in the garage you haven't opened in 20 years. And here's the uplifting reality. You don't need millions of coins. You just need one right coin handled the right way to make a real difference in your financial life. Act 3. Action, opportunity, and the wealth mindset. This is where we shift from curiosity to action. If you believe you have a 1976 no-mint mark penny with potential, Treat it like a fragile treasure. Do not clean it. Handle it by the edges. Keep it in a soft holder. Then get authoritative eyes on it. Reputable grading services and experienced coin dealers can authenticate, grade, and guide you. A properly graded coin doesn't just tell you what you have. It unlocks access to serious buyers and auction houses where real money moves. Here's a quick pattern interrupt to reset your focus. Have you ever watched an antique show where someone says, "I thought this was junk on my shelf"? You do not want to be the punchline in reverse. "I thought it was junk, so I cleaned it with toothpaste." Coins hate toothpaste. Your wallet hates toothpaste even more. Now let's lean into inspiration. The wealthy lifestyle you dream of is not about a miracle penny alone. It is about learning to recognize opportunity, take decisive action, and stop leaving value lying around you. Your collection, your inherited coins, your jars and boxes may contain surprises you never imagined. And yes, some coins sell for astonishing prices when rarity, condition, and timing align. But the true reward is moving from "I hope" to "I know." Cliffhanger time. Before you rush off to dig through drawers, ask yourself this. What if the most valuable thing isn't the coin itself, but what it represents? Proof that overlooked things in your life may hold enormous potential. Proof that moments you thought were small can become turning points. Proof that you are sitting closer to opportunity than you think. As we approach the close, let's connect all the dots. You learned that not every rumor is reality. You learned that the so-called 1976 wheat penny is a misunderstanding. But 1976 no-mint mark pennies with the right errors and in exceptional condition can be highly valuable. You learned that timing, grading, and authenticity matter far more than hype. And most importantly, you learned that action beats regret. Here is your next step. Go find your coins. Open the jars. Check the boxes. Examine that old change from your parents or grandparents. Handle them carefully. When in doubt, get them evaluated. Do not assume. Do not rush. And do not let fear, confusion, or misinformation stop you from discovering what you truly have. Because sometimes wealth doesn't shout. Sometimes it sits quietly in the palm of your hand, disguised as a penny that everyone else ignored. And now the final question I want to leave ringing in your mind. The one that keeps you watching, searching, and moving forward. Somewhere in your home, in your drawer, in your family's past, is there a small copper coin waiting to change your future? Only you can go find out. Imagine this. You open an old coffee tin, the same one that's been in the back of your closet for decades. Inside are pennies you once thought were just pocket change. You pick up one coin, and suddenly the room feels different. Your heart beats faster. What if this tiny piece of metal could rewrite your financial story? Here's the truth. Around America, ordinary people are discovering that forgotten pennies can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases, life-changing amounts of money. The dream is real, but the danger is real too. Myths, rumors, and viral claims can send people chasing after coins that will never pay off. You may have heard about a 1979 no-mint mark wheat penny worth millions of dollars. Sounds thrilling, right? Life-changing money for a single coin. But here's the moment where inspiration meets reality. That coin doesn't exist. Wheat pennies ended in 1958, and 1979 pennies without mint marks are normal. The story isn't about chasing fake legends. It's about learning how real wealth hides in plain sight. Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to separate fantasy from fortune, avoid costly mistakes, and recognize the pennies that actually have the power to transform your life. And yes, there are real coins sitting in drawers, jars, and boxes right now that can do exactly that. Quick question to reset your focus. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Not spent it, not tossed it in a tip jar. Looked at it. If your answer was never, don't worry. You're exactly who this video is for. Let's step into the story of value, scarcity, and opportunity hiding right in your hands. Here's where the real adventure begins. Coins are not just metal. They are tiny time machines. They carry history, mistakes, and in rare cases, minting errors worth astonishing sums. The market for rare pennies is not fueled by hype. It's fueled by three things: Rarity, condition, and desire. First, rarity. A coin can be 40 years old and still be worth only 1 cent. Or it can be 100 years old and worth a house. The key is how many exist and what makes them different. That's why rumors like 1979 wheat penny worth millions spread so easily. People want the shortcut, the lottery ticket, but wealth in coins comes from understanding how rarity really works. Second, condition. This is where excitement and fear meet each other. Imagine finding a rare date coin, but it's scratched, bent, or corroded. The value can collapse instantly. That's the fear. But imagine discovering one that looks untouched, sharp, bright, preserved for decades. That's the excitement. That's the adrenaline that keeps collectors searching. Third, demand. A coin is ultimately worth what the market is willing to pay today. Right now, collectors are paying serious money for key dates, mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and coins with dramatic historical significance. Those are real opportunities, not myths, not clickbait, real transactions, real buyers. Let's create a pattern interrupt. Think about this. If pennies could talk, some of them would probably say, "Hey, stop throwing me in the couch cushions. I might be your emergency fund." It's funny, until you realize how often people literally vacuum up money they never checked. Now, let's address the question burning in your mind. Are there coins that actually reach 6 or 7 figures? Yes, but they are not random 1970s pocket change. They are extreme rarities. 1943 copper pennies, 1955 double dies, early Lincoln cents with dramatic minting errors, high-grade, professionally certified coins that survived for decades untouched. Those are the headline makers. So why do fake legends go viral? Because they promise wealth without knowledge. But wealth rewards the informed. That's where your power is. Here's your cliffhanger. In the next moment, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to check your own pennies the smart way, and which details could be the difference between 1 cent and one life-changing check. But before we do, ask yourself this: what would change in your life if something sitting in your house right now was worth far more than you think? Now let's bring this home. You don't need a mythical $1979 million penny. You need awareness, urgency, and a plan. Start by gathering your coins. Jars, boxes, drawers, old piggy banks. Bring them together like a small treasure hunt. Look for wheatbacks from 1909 to 1958. Look for 1943 copper, 1955 double die, or coins with obvious minting errors. Look for unusually sharp, uncirculated coins. If something looks different, strange, or unusually crisp, it deserves attention. Here's a moment of straight talk. Do not clean the coins. Cleaning can destroy value faster than anything else. That shine you think is helpful can erase thousands of dollars. Handle them gently by the edges. Treat them like evidence of possibility. When you find something promising, get expert opinions. Not rumors, not comment sections, not hype videos. Reputable coin dealers, grading services, and established marketplaces can confirm value and connect you with buyers. That is where life-changing sales actually happen. Feel the urgency. The market moves. Desirable coins can rise and fall with demand. The longer rare coins sit unrecognized, the more opportunities pass by. At the same time, feel the excitement. You are not just looking through coins. You are looking through time, through history, through potential. And here's the final emotional truth. Wealth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it jingles quietly in a jar under your sink. Let me leave you with one last cliffhanger question. What if the coin that changes everything for you has already been in your house for years, and today is the day you finally recognize it? Your next step is simple. Don't chase myths. Don't fall for fake million-dollar claims. Instead, honor your curiosity. Check your coins. Learn what really creates value. Move with confidence. You are not just selling old pennies. You are opening doors to freedom, options, and a wealthier lifestyle built on knowledge, not luck. And maybe, just maybe, that small, forgotten coin will be the beginning of your next chapter. Imagine opening an old jar of coins, the same one that has been sitting in your closet for decades, and discovering a single penny that changes the trajectory of your life. Stay with me for the next few minutes because today we are going to uncover the truth, the hype, the fear of missing out, and the real opportunity behind one of the most talked about coins in America. The 1988 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that many people claim is worth close to $1 million. Is it really a ticket to wealth, or just another internet myth designed to stir excitement? And more importantly, could the pennies already in your home be worth real money right now? Do not blink, because in the next few moments you will either breathe a sigh of relief or feel that electric shock of realizing you might be sitting on something valuable without even knowing it. For years, stories have circulated online about supposedly ordinary pennies selling for life-changing amounts. The fear creeps in first. What if you already spent one without realizing it? The excitement follows instantly. What if one of those sits quietly in your drawer at this very moment? That emotional roller coaster is powerful because it taps into something universal in us, especially for those of us between 30 and 65 who have lived long enough to know that opportunity often hides in the ordinary. We remember grandparents saving coins, parents reminding us that money doesn't grow on trees, and yet here we are asking a new question. Can money grow in jars? But here is the first twist. There is no such thing as a 1988 D wheat penny. Wheat cents stopped being produced in 1958. In 1988, the United States Mint was producing the Lincoln Memorial Cent. So why do rumors continue to claim 1988 D wheat pennies worth hundreds of thousands of dollars exist? Because myths travel faster than facts, and viral headlines are designed to hook your emotions before your logic catches up. And yet, here's the cliffhanger. The 1988 D penny can still be valuable, just not for the reason many think. Stay with me because the real story is more interesting than the myth. Let's step behind the curtain. The 1988 D Lincoln cent is usually a common coin. It was minted in the hundreds of millions. So how does an ordinary coin suddenly get whispered about as worth $979,000? Simple. Two forces collide: viral exaggeration and the very real world of rare mint errors and varieties. The truth is, some 1988 pennies have a specific variety known to collectors where the reverse design doesn't match the year. A subtle design transition error. To the untrained eye, it looks like just another brown penny. To a trained collector, it is a potential prize. Here's the moment of urgency. Most people throw these coins away or cash them in for face value, never knowing what they had. That is the real fear you should pay attention to, not missing a rumor, but missing a reality sitting in your own home. Now, let's interrupt the tension with a question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Not just tossed it in the cup holder and said, it's just a penny. Pennies are like gym memberships. We know we have them, we just don't really use them until suddenly it matters. That little reset is important because your attention right now could literally change how you look at spare change forever. Back to the story. Are these coins worth millions? No, not in any verified, consistent marketplace. Claims of $979,000 or $1 million 1988 D pennies almost always come from rumor chains, misread listings, or unrealistic asking prices that never actually sell. And yet, here comes excitement again. Real pennies of many dates, including some 1988 varieties, can indeed be worth hundreds or thousands depending on grade, condition, and verified error types. The key word is verified. That means authenticated by reputable grading services, not just posted on an auction website with a wild price tag. And before you ask, yes, people your age group are the ones most often finding these coins because you are the ones who inherited collections, saved jars of change, or simply lived through decades of circulation. We now transition from myth to mastery. If you want to sell coins and transform clutter into capital, here is where urgency truly matters. Values change. Market interest moves. Condition deteriorates over time if coins are improperly stored. Every year, people discover coins late, after they've been cleaned, scratched, spent, or lost, and that mistake can shave away serious value. Cleaning a coin, for example, can destroy hundreds or even thousands in potential market price. Let the coin look old. Age is not the enemy. Abrasive scrubbing is. Think of wrinkles on a billionaire's face. Nobody cares, the value is still there. The third act is about you. The person watching this because you are ready to stop wondering and start acting. You may want to sell rare pennies, pay off debt, or simply experience the freedom of turning forgotten objects into opportunity. The inspirational truth is simple. Wealth is rarely found by those who rush past the details. It is found by those willing to look closely, learn quickly, and make decisive moves. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is about to dump a coffee can full of coins into a counting machine without realizing what they are giving away. Let that not be your story. Here's your empowering transition. Begin by sorting your pennies by date and mint mark. Set aside anything before 1983, anything that looks unusual, doubled, misstruck, off-center, or surprisingly shiny. If you find an interesting 1988D, do not clean it and do not assume it is worthless or priceless. Think in terms of proof, not hope. Research reliable numismatic resources, consult professional graders, and seek second opinions before selling. Coins with verified varieties or top-tier condition are the ones that command serious premiums. This is not about lottery luck. It is about knowledge applied with urgency. Now the final cliffhanger moment. Somewhere in the next handful of coins you examine, there could be a discovery. Not because of hype or fantasy price tags, but because the coin market rewards rarity, condition, and authenticity. If you stop now, you will never know. If you continue, your story may turn into the kind people talk about for years. Ask yourself one question before you leave today. Will your old pennies stay forgotten artifacts of your past, or become funding for the future lifestyle you truly want? As we close, feel the emotion of excitement, but let authority guide your next step. My promise to you is this: the wealthiest people are not always the luckiest. They are the ones who look where others don't, who question viral claims but act on real opportunity, who turn knowledge into motion. Your coins are not just metal. They are history, possibility, and in the right case, income. So open the jar. Pull out the box in the closet. Revisit that inherited collection. Handle your coins carefully, learn before you leap, and move with intention. Whether your 1988D is common or carries a rare variety, the real value today is that you know the difference between rumor and reality, and you are ready to act on it. Your next decision could be worth more than any single penny. Imagine pulling an unassuming old penny from a dusty jar and realizing it might change your life. Today we're talking about the mysterious 1991 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin surrounded by stories of staggering auctions, fierce collector demand, and values rumored to reach toward $1 million. Before you say it's just a penny, pause for a second. That little copper coin in your hand could be the key to paying off debts, retiring early, or funding the life of freedom you've dreamed about. Stay with me because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes this penny so powerful, and how people are turning forgotten change into serious wealth. Act 1 begins with a discovery. Picture this. It's late evening. You're sorting through an old coffee can of coins you've been meaning to cash in for years. You're not a collector, not an expert, just curious. As the coins clink together, one penny stands out. Something feels different. No mint mark under the date. Wheat ears on the back instead of the Lincoln Memorial. And the date reads 1991. First you shrug. Then the question creeps in. Could this be one of those life-changing coins you've heard whispers about? Your heart beats a little faster. You feel excitement. And right behind it, fear. What if it is valuable and you toss it away? What if someone else finds it instead? What if you've already spent one without realizing it? Here's the hook that matters. Certain error coins, wrong design strikes, and ultra-rare varieties have shocked the market, with examples changing hands for huge sums. Stories circulate of rare 1991 no-mint mark wheat pennies with extreme collector appeal and reported sales soaring into the hundreds of thousands, with current market chatter even placing top-quality examples around $991,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth less than a stick of gum could, under the right conditions, approach the value of a luxury home. Now before you dump every coin jar on the floor, take a breath. We're going to walk through what separates fantasy from fortune, and exactly how you can position yourself to benefit if you discover one. But first, a quick reality check to keep us grounded. Not every old penny is rare, and not every rare coin is worth millions. That's good news. It means that when something truly rare appears, collectors go into competition mode. That's where life-changing prices happen. And when you understand why certain coins skyrocket in value, you put yourself in the position of control instead of guesswork. Think of this video as your roadmap. Let's move into Act 2, the rising journey. Understanding value, spotting clues, and avoiding costly mistakes. Value in coins is driven by four forces that work together like gears: rarity, condition, demand, story. Remove one gear and the machine slows down. Lock all four together and prices accelerate dramatically. Rarity is where the 1991 no-mint mark wheat penny story becomes electrifying. The wheat reverse design officially ended decades earlier, so any 1991 wheatback coin points to an extraordinary minting anomaly or fantasy strike scenario. Add the missing mint mark and you have a combination that sends collectors' eyebrows upward. This isn't common pocket change. It's the kind of coin that triggers phone calls between serious buyers. Condition is your multiplier. A rare coin in poor shape is interesting. A rare coin in pristine, sharply struck, high-grade condition is explosive. That's where we see those jaw-dropping prices. One small scratch or nick can be the difference between nice curiosity and life-altering asset. If you think you've found something special, here's your pattern interrupt moment. Please do not polish it with toothpaste, baking soda, a sock, or the family cat. Cleaning coins destroys value faster than a garbage disposal destroys spoons. Handle it gently by the edges. Let professionals do the evaluation. Demand is fueled by emotion and competition. Collectors love what shouldn't exist. A 1991 wheat design with no mint mark taps into that craving. It blends nostalgia, mystery, and scarcity. When two or more determined collectors want the same rare piece, the price doesn't just rise. It leaps. That leap is how we get from interesting coin to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and, in some highly publicized cases, talk of values approaching $991,000 at the top end of the market. And then there's the story. Humans don't buy metal. They buy meaning. They buy the story of a minting error that slipped through the cracks. The story of survival in circulation. The story of the person who discovered it in a box, drawer, or inheritance. You're not just selling a penny. You're selling a legend people want to own. Now let's shift to the practical side while keeping that sense of urgency. If you think you have a 1991 no-mint mark wheat penny, your next move matters. First, verify the basics. Is the date clear? Are the wheat ears genuine and not from a damaged coin or altered piece? Is the surface original, not cleaned or scratched? The wrong step here could cost you enormous value. Here's a quick moment of humor to reset your attention. If your 1991 wheat penny also says "Made in China" on the back, congratulations, you've discovered a souvenir, not retirement. The next step is professional grading. Serious buyers pay serious money for coins certified by recognized grading services. A slabbed, authenticated coin with a high grade turns uncertainty into confidence. And confidence is what unlocks top-tier offers. Ask yourself this urgent question. If you really had a six-figure coin, would you risk selling it raw at a yard sale? Or would you treat it like the rare asset it might be? Act 3 is the transformation, not just of the coin's value, but of your life and mindset. Because this isn't only about one penny. It's about recognizing overlooked opportunity. Many people have boxes of inherited coins they never evaluate. They sit in closets while people stress over bills, delay retirement, or postpone dreams. The wealth is literally hiding in plain sight, disguised as small change. Imagine what an unexpected six-figure or even near million-dollar discovery would do for you. Paying off your mortgage, starting that business you've talked about for years, helping your children or grandchildren, moving from surviving to thriving. That's not fantasy. That's the compound power of knowledge plus action. And in the current market, with high demand for rare errors and dramatic varieties, timing matters. Coins don't ring a bell when it's the perfect time to sell. Markets move. Opportunities pass. Urgency is your ally. Here's your cliffhanger. Because your story is the next one waiting to be written. Somewhere right now, someone is holding a coin they think is worthless. They'll toss it into a tip jar tomorrow. Another person will take the time to look closely, to learn, to check, and to act. Which one are you going to be? The person who discovers the rare 1991 no-mint mark wheat penny and captures its staggering potential current market value discussed around $991,000 at the top end? Or the person who later says, I used to have a coin like that. I think I spent it. As we close, let's connect everything. You've learned the hook. Ordinary pennies can carry extraordinary value. You've understood the forces behind price. Rarity, condition, demand, and story. You've seen the emotional drivers at work. Fear of missing out, excitement of discovery, urgency of timing. You've also laughed at least once, or pretended to, and maybe looked at your coin jar a little differently. That's the point. Awareness changes behavior, and behavior creates opportunity. So here's your next step, and it's simple. Go through your coins with care. If you suspect you've found something unusual, protect it, don't clean it, and seek professional authentication. Stay curious, stay intentional, and don't underestimate the quiet power of a copper coin. Wealth doesn't always come in stacks of cash. Sometimes it comes in a single, unexpected penny waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, a box inherited from a parent or grandparent, and sitting there is a simple brown penny. Ordinary, forgettable, something most people drop in tip jars or ignore on the ground. Now pause for a second. What if that tiny coin had the power to change the rest of your life? What if one overlooked penny could erase debt, pay off your mortgage, and rewrite your financial story? Before you roll your eyes and say, it's just a penny, let me ask you something. How many life-changing opportunities have people missed simply because they look too ordinary? Today, we're diving into the world of rare United States pennies that really are worth serious money, and how to avoid being fooled by myths about coins that simply don't exist. Stay with me, because in a few minutes, I'm going to reveal one specific penny variety that has shocked auction houses and created life-changing payouts for everyday people. And yes, it has been found in regular pocket change. Quick pattern interrupt. Be honest. How many of you have pennies sitting in an old coffee can right now? And if you don't, are you about to run and check anyway? Back to business. People are chasing headlines claiming mystery pennies worth millions that aren't real. The danger isn't just disappointment. The real danger is this. While chasing myths, people miss the real treasures sitting right under their noses. And that's where this story truly begins. Let's set the record straight with authority and clarity. Not every rumor online about a miracle penny is true. Some dates simply do not exist in the way they're described, especially things like 1990s wheat pennies that were never produced. Believing everything you see online is the fastest way to get discouraged and give up. But here's the exciting twist. There are real, verified pennies that can be worth thousands, and in rare conditions, six figures. And unlike lottery tickets, you don't have to buy them. You may already own them. Coins like the 1909 SVDB, the legendary 1955 double die, rare 1943 copper cents, and very specific close AM and wide AM varieties from the 1990s have been documented selling for massive money when authenticated in top condition. Not fantasy, not rumor, real collectors, real auctions, real life-changing checks. Now here's where the fear kicks in a good way. Many of these pennies were spent, rolled into bank wrappers, or tossed into jars because someone assumed they were worthless. How many fortunes were literally handed over to vending machines? Let's talk mindset for a moment. People think wealth only arrives through massive luck or a giant salary. But very often, wealth begins with awareness. The wealthy notice value where others see junk. The wealthy slow down where others rush. That old change jar might not just be clutter. It might be an unopened vault. And yes, here comes the cliffhanger. Because in the final act, we're going to talk about exactly what to look for, what mistakes to avoid when selling, and how people like you, age 30 to 65 with boxes of coins from decades past, turn forgotten pennies into serious money without getting taken advantage of. But first, quick humor reset. Isn't it funny that we say a penny for your thoughts? But sometimes your thoughts are worth less than the penny? Now let's connect everything. You now know there are myths, and there are real opportunities. You know that coins are more than metal. They're tiny time capsules of American history and, sometimes, tickets to financial freedom. So what should you do next? First, stop dismissing old pennies. If you've got wheat cents, save them. If you've got 1943 copper-colored cents, 1955 pennies with doubled letters, 1909 pennies with tiny VDB initials, or unusual spacing in the word America on 1990s coins, don't guess. Get informed before you sell. Second, don't rush. Urgency matters, but recklessness costs money. Too many sellers walk into pawn shops or post online and accept the first offer because they're excited or scared. Take a breath. Knowledge turns fear into power. Third, imagine what this could mean for your life. Picture paying off a car, ending credit card stress, helping your kids, retiring earlier, traveling, upgrading your lifestyle not through fantasy, but through recognizing value that has been sitting unnoticed, possibly for decades. And here's the final emotional punch. Somewhere in America right now, someone is about to spend a rare penny without knowing it. Someone else is going to check their coins, recognize what they have, and change their financial story forever. Which one will you be? Because the only difference between worth 1 cent and worth a fortune is knowledge and action. So go find that jar. Open those old rolls. Look again at what everyone else ignores. Your wealthy lifestyle may not begin with a winning lottery ticket. It may begin with the smallest coin in your hand and the decision not to overlook it this time. And in the next video, we're going even deeper, revealing specific high-value penny varieties with photos, markers you can spot with the naked eye, and mistakes that can cost you thousands. You don't want to miss that, because one tiny detail could be the difference between pocket change and a life-changing check. Before I write the script, there is something important you should know so your video builds trust and keeps viewers watching. The exact coin you mentioned, a 2013 no-mint mark wheat penny, does not actually exist as a legitimate U.S. mint issue. Wheat cents ended in 1958, and 2013 cents feature the Union Shield design. There are viral claims online about modern pennies being worth hundreds of thousands or millions, but these are almost always misunderstandings, clickbait, or misrepresented error coins. That reality is actually a powerful opportunity for your channel. Your audience desperately wants clarity and protection from hype while still chasing real life-changing finds. So below is a 10-minute faceless video script built around the 3-act structure. It uses fear, excitement, and urgency, exposes the viral myth in an inspiring, authoritative way, and then pivots into how viewers can actually find and sell truly valuable pennies. It keeps attention with cliffhangers and pattern interrupts, and it is written for viewers aged 30 to 65 who want wealth from coins. Imagine reaching into your coin jar, pulling out a single penny, and realizing it could change the rest of your life. 1 cent turning into 6 figures. What would you do first? Pay off the house? Walk into work tomorrow with a different kind of confidence? Today we are talking about one of the most talked about penny stories online, the so-called 2013 no-mint mark wheat penny that people say is worth over $200,000, even millions. But here is the big question hanging in the air. Is that dream real, or are people being set up for disappointment? Stay with me because the truth will surprise you, and what I am about to show you could save you money, protect you from scams, and still put real cash in your pocket. There is a reason these stories go viral. We feel it in our chest. The idea that something forgotten in a drawer could secretly hold life-changing value taps straight into excitement and possibility. It whispers, you didn't miss your chance, your future might already be in your hands. And when you hear someone say a penny is worth $213,000, your heart beats faster. You feel hope, and maybe a little fear of missing out. What if everyone else is cashing in and you are not? Here is the first big twist. Take a deep breath with me. The United States Mint stopped making wheat pennies in 1958. In 2013, there were no wheat designs and no official release of a no-mint mark wheat penny. So how did this story explode? Because myths travel faster than facts, and because there are real pennies that actually are worth serious money. The rumor attached itself to that desire and took off. Think of it like seeing a shadow in a dark room. Your brain fills in the shape before the light turns on. But do not click away, because here is where the real story starts. Even though that exact viral coin is not real, the wealth potential in old pennies absolutely is. And right after this next part, I am going to show you what to actually look for, what kinds of pennies can legitimately bring 5 and 6 figures, and the biggest mistake that causes people to accidentally spend a fortune at the grocery store checkout. You do not want to be the person who realizes you handed away a small house for a bag of chips. Act 2. The reveal, the fear, and the path forward. Let's flip on the light. The 2013 no-mint mark wheat penny worth hundreds of thousands is a myth. Some listings and videos use dramatic titles to pull attention, sometimes showing ordinary coins next to huge price tags. Others confuse error coins, fantasy coins, or altered coins with genuine mint rarities. And this is where fear should kick in just a little bit, because people do get taken advantage of. People do mail coins away or sell to the wrong buyer and later find out they were misled. But fear is useful when it protects you instead of paralyzing you. So here is your takeaway. You do not need myths. You do not need clickbait. There are real coins in real pockets worth real money, and you can learn how to identify them. And yes, some pennies have sold for 6 figures at major auctions, especially rare dates, mint errors, and high-grade examples of key years. That is fact, not fantasy. So now ask yourself this question. When was the last time you really looked at your change? Not glanced, actually looked. How many times have you dumped coins into a jar thinking they were useless? That quiet jar might as well be a safety deposit box. And here is a humorous pattern interrupt for you. Somewhere out there, someone vacuumed up a rare coin out of their couch and it is living the rest of its life in a bag inside a vacuum cleaner. Let's not let that be your retirement plan. Here is where the urgency comes in. The market for rare coins moves. Condition changes, prices change, demand changes. And the more coins are damaged, cleaned, or improperly stored, the more potential value disappears. Imagine watching years from now as headlines talk about record prices while you think, I had one of those once. That small ache in your stomach? That is your instinct telling you to pay attention now, not later. In a moment, in Act 3, we are going to talk about what to actually do next if you want to sell coins for the highest possible amount and avoid the traps that take money out of your hands. But before that, let me leave you with one more cliffhanger. There is one single action most people never take that instantly separates those who profit from those who get taken advantage of. We will get to that in just a second. Act 3. Authority, action, and transformation. Here is that one action. Educate yourself before you sell, even for 10 minutes. Knowledge is leverage. It turns you from a casual seller into a confident negotiator. The moment you understand the basics of rarity, condition, mint marks, and authentication, the entire dynamic shifts. Instead of hoping someone is honest, you know the right questions to ask. You know when to walk away. And that is the exact moment when wealth stops being an accident and starts becoming a choice. So what do you do with your coins? First, stop cleaning them. Shining a coin can destroy its value faster than you can say what just happened. Second, separate unusual dates, coins with visible errors, or coins that simply feel different. Third, when you are ready, seek out reputable dealers or auction houses, not random online buyers making wild promises. You are not just selling metal. You are exchanging history, scarcity, and story for money. Treat it that way. Now let's connect this back to the beginning. You came here because of a number, $213,000. Maybe even the word millions. Those words are powerful for a reason. They speak to security, freedom, and living life on your terms. A wealthier lifestyle is not truly about cars or watches. It is about choices. It is about waking up without dread, about taking care of the people you love, about finally being able to breathe. Coins are not lottery tickets. They are silent assets hiding in plain sight. And yes, some of them are incredibly valuable. Yes, ordinary people have found rare pennies and sold them for life-changing amounts. But it is the informed, calm, intentional person who wins most often, not the one chasing myths. You do not need magic. You need awareness, honesty, and action. So here is your final cliffhanger. The one that should echo after this video ends. Somewhere right now in the United States, there is a person holding a coin they have not looked closely at yet. They think it is just a penny. They might even spend it tomorrow. What if that person is you? Take this as your moment. Go to your drawer, your jar, your coffee can in the closet. Look again. Learn. Protect yourself from hype. Move with urgency, but with wisdom. And when you do find something special, do not whisper about it. Stand taller. You earned it by paying attention when everyone else ignored what was right in front of them. If you want to sell old and rare pennies and step closer to the wealthy lifestyle you imagine, this is your first step. The world does not reward hesitation. It rewards informed action. And your action starts now. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, is this worthless change or hidden treasure? Imagine finding everyday pennies that overnight could make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. Today we delve into one of the most thrilling secrets in modern coin collecting, the 2016 no-mint mark wheat penny. A coin so rare that one recently commanded $216,000 at auction. You might think, wait, wheat pennies from 2016. Isn't that too recent? Exactly, most people dismiss this as impossible. But that's where the secret lies. This is not just about coins. This is about unlocking the potential fortune sitting right in your wallet, drawer, or attic. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes these pennies so valuable, and how to turn them into life-changing money. The story begins with a coin no one expected to be valuable. In 2016, the US Mint produced coins with modern designs like any other year. But something unusual happened. A small handful of pennies were struck without a mint mark, and without the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the back. These rare pennies instead show the older wheat ear design, a style that was officially discontinued decades earlier. Pause for a second. Let that sink in. A coin meant for everyday spending accidentally carries a design from the early 20th century. It's like finding a Picasso hidden in a cereal box. Now here's the twist that will get your heart racing. Because these pennies were never officially released, they shouldn't even exist, and that makes them extremely rare and extremely valuable. Coin collectors, serious ones, went absolutely wild when one of these pennies surfaced. The final auction price? $216,000. That's right, $216,000 for a single penny that most people would toss on the ground without a second thought. But how does a coin go from pocket change to six-figure treasure? Let's break it down. The value of any collectible comes from three things: history, rarity, and demand. History gives the coin a story. Rare coins are scarce, but demand makes collectors compete fiercely to own them. In this case, all three forces collided perfectly. Now imagine you're sorting through a jar of old pennies, maybe one you forgot about in the back of your kitchen cabinet. You pick up a coin that looks different. Maybe it doesn't have a mint mark. Maybe the back design isn't what you're used to seeing. Your heart skips a beat. For a moment, you feel a mix of excitement. Could this be worth something? And fear. What if I toss it and it's worth millions? Here's a humorous thought to reset your mind for a second. What if your grandkids discover your coin stash and think you're a secret millionaire, but you didn't even know it? Laugh for a moment, but then let the gravity of this hit you. Millions of dollars in value can be hidden in what looks like everyday junk. This isn't fantasy. This is real. This is happening right now. But let me warn you, not every rare coin is valuable. And not every wheat penny is a gold mine. That's why you must know the precise characteristics that distinguish a potential treasure from ordinary metal. No mint mark, where there should be only wheat ear reverse design in a year, it shouldn't appear unusual where patterns or die errors clear. Readable features. Collectors pay top dollar for condition, and here's a thought that might make you gasp. Some coins that appear damaged could still be worth more than you think. Why? Because error coins, those struck imperfectly, are among the most sought after by collectors, so the next time you sort your coins, don't ignore the ones that look funny. They might be the jackpot. Before we move to Act 3, let's pause with a question that could save you thousands. Are you absolutely sure your old pennies are worthless? If you hesitated for even a second, you're in the right place. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about what to do next, because spotting a rare penny means nothing if you don't know how to realize its value. First, never clean your coins. Cleaning destroys the surface value and reduces collector interest. Yes, that shiny penny might look nicer in your hand, but it could become worthless to a collector. Second, get proper authentication. Use trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC. These organizations give coins a professional grade that vastly increases buyer confidence and your selling price. Third, understand timing. The rare coin market rises and falls with trends. Right now, rare wheat pennies from unexpected modern years are exploding in popularity. But markets move fast, and the window for maximum value can close quickly. And now, a cliffhanger worth your attention. What if I told you there may be other modern coins with hidden designs and errors just waiting to be found? Coins that could approach or even exceed the $216,000 record. Coins that the mint never intended to release. Coins that experts are only just now discovering. In upcoming videos, we'll uncover those possibilities and show you exactly how to spot them confidently. But for now, let's bring this home. If you found even one genuine 2016 no-mint mark wheat penny in your collection, you could be holding a life-altering fortune. And if you've got boxes of old coins gathering dust, don't walk past them. Act. Sort them. Examine them. Because treasure doesn't always look like treasure. That 1-cent piece could be the key to $216,000 or more. You have coins. You have opportunity. Now you have the knowledge. The question is, will you take action before someone else does? Leave a comment below if you think you might have found a rare penny, and I'll help you assess it in our next video. And if you're serious about unlocking hidden wealth in your coin stash, make sure you're subscribed because what comes next could change your life.